Welcome to Bikini Bottom, a normally peaceful undersea sanctuary. Today it will be transformed into a theater of pure horror, wherein our little yellow friend will play the starring role.
Today is the big day. I have devised an ingenious plan to finally steal the Krabby Patty formula. And if Bikini Bottom happens to get demolished in the process, oh well. With my brand new Duplicatotron 3000, I'll clone an army of robots that will wreak mayhem and destruction at my command. One last review of the checklist. Let's see. Item number 1, is Plankton a genius? Answer yes. Okay, checklist complete. Throw in the switch. Welcome, my perfectly obedient robot army. Hang on. I want to get a photo for my scrapbook. Hey, hello? What do you think you're doing? Oh, no, wait! But I'm your master! I made you! No! Oh, my good China!
Another perfect day playing robots and racehorses.
Yeah, only I keep getting the racehorses and the robots mixed up.
Wouldn't it be great if we had real robots to play with, Patrick? I'd name mine Robo Jr. or Zorlon or maybe Frankie.
Yeah, these unreal robots are getting boring. Hey, what if we put the robots in here?
Oh, how shellfish of you.
It's not just any shell. It's my magic wishing shell.
Wow, that's great, Patrick.
So we put the toy robots in here.
Okay.
Then we say the magic wishing words and shake the magic wishing shell.
Okay.
Then we go to sleep, and in the morning, we'll have real robots to play with!
But Patrick, aren't we going to say the magic wishing words?
You already did!
So, okay is the magic wishing word?
It used to be Alakazama Alabala Wiesna Tikitana Fushbar Griddle Bits von Wiederschnauzer, but I kept forgetting it.
Are you sure this'll work?
Sure! Last week, I only had one big cookie crumb and I was really hungry, so I put my cookie crumb in the magic wishing shell, then I said the magic wishing word and shook it, and in the morning I had lots of little cookie crumbs!
Patrick, I proclaim that tomorrow is going to be the best day ever.
Good night, Spongebob.
Good night, Patrick.
The next morning.
Gonna play with robots, gonna play with robots, gonna play with robots, gonna play with... Whoa! Gary, did you do that?
Let me welcome you to SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. A game I never thought was gonna fucking happen. This is my second playthrough. Literally, yesterday was launch day in time of this recording, and I did the entire game 100%, and today I'm doing it again, but recording it. Now I understand what they've done different, how they've handled it, etc, etc. Every problem I have with the game I'll bring up as and when we bump into them. I might find new things as we go, because this is only my second playthrough, but at the same time it's based on the foundations of a game I have known and loved for 17 years. Your first port of call is that you got to find your way out of your house. It's just your glorified tutorial, and I fucking love this game. I unapologetically adore the shit out of this game. It's such a goofy remake. Like, it's got problems. It's problems that don't exist in the original, and THQ have confirmed on their Twitter that a series of patches are going to start rolling out for this game soon to iron out literally everything, because they really want to make sure this is the best it can be. But because of the fact that this had to be out ready for the film that comes out in a few weeks or whenever that comes out, it had to release now. They couldn't adjust the deadline. But the idea of this game is that it is a collectathon, not too dissimilar to your Mario 64s or your Banjo-Kazooies, where there's a collectible in the game that will unlock new levels and allow you to progress through the game. There are other smaller collectibles that will help tally onto it, and a few other bits and pieces that you get it. In this game, it's golden spatulas. There's exactly 100 spatulas in the game. To reach the final boss, you need 75. So 25 challenges can be completely avoided. All of them are optional per se, it's just what ones you choose to do. But you can't just pick whatever level out of the hat and go from there. You need at least 5 spatulas to get into downtown, you need at least 10 to get into Goo Lagoon, you need at least 15 to get access to the first boss, and so on and so forth. But as you're exploring the house, you'll build up enough shiny objects, this game's currency, to open both the door to the spatula and this side door that costs far less. Go through the side door first, because it will lead us to the only real side collectible of the game. In the game, there are 80 of Patrick's socks that he has somehow lost. For every 10 you find, Patrick will give you a spatula, so there is a side collectible to hunt down as well. Not too dissimilar to the blue coins in Super Mario Sunshine. But this game, I think... This game came out in 2003, and I have no idea when Sunshine came out, because I've never played it. I've never actually played Sunshine. I wasn't a Nintendo kid growing up, I was on the PS2. But this library is your biggest play space of a tutorial you're going to get. So break things, get a feel for things, read the signs if you want to. I'll probably read some of the signs just so I can show it to you guys, sort of thing. But I kind of instinctively don't, because remake or not, like I've said, I've had this game known for 17 years. I've had it since 2003, and I have played it so much. My playtime in it is well over 7,000 hours, and I'm not exaggerating. I have played this game fucking religiously throughout the entirety of my life. There was a promise I made when I first started Let's Playing that if this game ever got a re-release, remaster, or remake in any form of capacity, everything would be dropped for me to cover it. And that's exactly what happened. It's why you're going to hopefully see, assuming nothing goes wrong, because I am actually recording this live for once, hopefully nothing major will go wrong and you will get a good idea of just how much experience I have in this goddamn game. Remake or not, even if it plays a little differently in places. Sound of your own neighborhood. There's Plankton.
Go away, Spongebob, you're polluting my thinking space.
Trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula again, eh, Plankton? Well, you won't get away with it.
I've got bigger fish to fry. I've got to figure out how to regain control of the chum bucket from those robots.
Where did they come from?
Where? I don't know. Not for me, though, that's for sure. They just showed up out of nowhere and started calling me rude names and throwing things. They even bent all my spoons. I love those spoons like they were my children.
That's terrible.
Oh, won't you help me stop them? Before they bend all my forks?
Not the forks! Of course I'll help. But wait, I'm supposed to collect a whole lot of golden spatulas.
Golden spatulas, eh? SpongeBob, if you could get me back into the chum bucket, I'll give you a bucket full of golden spatulas. In your dreams.
You've got a deal.
And that's pretty much your explanation of, yes, you need to hunt down golden spatulas to proceed. Your ultimate objective is to get into the Chum Bucket lab to destroy the Duplicatotron. Going over here to Mr. Krabs will introduce the last way of earning golden spatulas, because there's 3 main ways: clearing objectives, getting socks, and from Mr. Krabs, buying them with the shiny objects. However, this is actually the first criticism I'm going to bring up. The cost that Mr. Krabs will charge you for the shiny objects is far higher in this game than in the original. And for something that, ultimately, I'm not the target demographic anymore. This is for kids, much younger kids than this 21-year-old. And keeping that in mind, wouldn't the idea of making them grind excessively for shiny objects to pay Mr. Krabs to get 100% would be bad? Like, it bore the kids out? But for some reason they decided to do that. In the original, it went up every 500 to an extent, and then once you got so much, it would go up by every 1,000. Now, starting at 3,000, it goes up 3,000 again every single time, costing you 24,000 to just get the last one, meaning you'll be spending likely over 100,000 shiny objects just to get them all, which is ludicrous. Genuinely insane. But Bubble Buddy, if every time you see Bubble Buddy around a Bikini Bottom, go out of your way to talk to him because he'll usually be your tutorial dude, teaching you new techniques and how to play the game. Which is another case of like, I haven't spoken to Bubble Buddy in years. Every time I start the game, I just swerve him at every obstacle because it's just like, I don't need him to tell me what I can and can't do. But I'm just, for the sake of it being a Let's Play, me showing off everything, I will be leaving in the dialogue of every single chat. Subtitles are on, so I really don't mind talking over it. Like, I'm too excited. Like, some cutscenes I don't mind, like, shutting up for, but I'm too excited to play this game. I'm probably gonna have a lot more moments where I kind of stutter or repeat myself, though, because it's just raw excitement. I genuinely feel like a kid again playing this game, and I can't stress it enough. But if you want to get another golden spatula and another sock pretty quick, come bug Squidward.
Why don't you move to another town?
If you start jumping around him like a moron, he'll eventually give in and pay you a golden spatula to go away. But if you break everything in his house, it will reveal a sock, because for some reason one of Patrick's socks has ended up in Squidward's house.
Squidward had a lamp.
Also, there's technically new dialogue in this game, but it's less technically. The dialogue's always been there, it was just unused in the original. They didn't actually record any new lines in this game.
Hey, Squidward.
Didn't I pay you to go away?
But jumping in front of Squid will get you this. You had to jump more often in the original, but oh well. But like I said, break everything, and I mean everything. Just go on a fucking tear up.
I didn't know Squidward had a lamp.
Also, even though I'm playing Spongebob, don't expect this one commentary to suddenly be different from the rest of the commentaries. If you're a kid watching this, please watch with discretion, because, you know, I swear a lot. And I'm probably going to swear more often playing this because I love... What the... I never noticed that. That's just... Oh, dear. They've embraced meme culture a lot in this remake. I've noticed that on my first playthrough. One of the idle animations is the shock face. They even have... They have the weird, like, pigeon face that SpongeBob can do. He starts pecking the ground as well. And I noticed SpongeGar in the Goo Lagoon Caves, which we'll get to later on. But this is Patrick explaining the socks. I will be getting every single sock in the game, and I'll be getting everything in the game. This will be a complete 100% playthrough. And I promise you now, I won't miss anything on my run through. There will be nothing that I'll say, oh, I forgot about that, and have to go back for. Because I've played this game so fucking much, I can say that in absolute confidence. I will not miss anything. I know where everything is to an extent I don't have to even think about it. I will just go there. There's only one point in the game that you will have to backtrack, and it's after you get the cruise bubble, which is the last power-up SpongeBob gets. Because after you get that, you already have the bubble bowl, so you can get the 2 missing socks in Jellyfish Fields, and you can get the 1 spatula that you can't get in Downtown now. The last thing that can really be done right now before we head off to the first level is upgrade SpongeBob's health. You start the game with only 3 units of health. Every time you get hit, you lose a pair of underpants. Because it's SpongeBob's underwear, is what he's using as defense. He just wears more underwear as it goes. So he starts with 3 units of health. But if you find a golden pair of underpants, you can upgrade it to 4, then 5, then 6. 6 being your limit. On top of Squidward's house is the first one. In the original, Squidward's house's nose was bumpy enough that you could kind of jump from the crashed little rocket next to it onto the nose, up it, and just completely skip the challenge and just get it. And then from there, you could clear all the way to the house pretty damn easily by just jumping on top of the balloons that's holding up the button. So you could just jump, so you don't even have to touch any of the buttons. But in Rehydrated, they altered that to kind of take away that advantage.
Green hills of Jellyfish Fields, a place to experience nature at its most raw, and sometimes a bit tender from the stings.
Squidward, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, you barnacle head.
Do I look like I'm okay?
Well, your nose does look pretty big. I mean, bigger than usual because it's usually pretty big. And you look clammy. And oh my gosh, you're bald!
I've always been bald, but now I'm stung all over.
Well, according to the Jellyfisher Field Manual, severe jellyfish stings can be treated effectively by applying a thick layer of king jellyfish jelly to the affected areas. King jellyfish?
Well, I guess you're off to scale Spork Mountain and die a horrible death under the vicious tentacles of King Jellyfish. I'll stay here, balled up here in excruciating pain.
You do that! Don't worry, Squidward. I'll bring back that King Jellyfish jelly for you to rub all over yourself.
And welcome to Jellyfish Fields, one of my all-time favourite opening levels to any platformer ever. It has so much going for it to help give you an idea of what to expect, how to handle going forward, and it even has a few secrets that you can't get on your first visit, so you'll be coming back here later on. And in a healthy way as well, not in a way that feels very forced down your throat. The game will also introduce goo, because, you know, technically we're always underwater because that's the universe of SpongeBob. So goo is water. And teleport boxes. Go out of your way to always stand near any teleport box you see to open them, because it's kind of annoying if you get to the other side, unlock the second half of the shortcut, but you never unlock the first one, so you have to backtrack to open them both up. Always make sure to resonate or look around you when you enter a new area to find the boxes to open them up. But enjoy just exploring. The jellyfish are a bit more aggressive in this than they were in the original. In the original, you could kind of linger around them for a while before they even remotely gave a shit about you. But in this, they will beat you up quite quickly. They will get pretty agitated if you stick near them for long enough. But the main things that you're breaking in the game when you're not beating up robots are Tiki Boxes. The Tiki Boxes are literally just there for things for you to destroy. They come in several variants. You've got wooden, which is the standard ones that you'll spot everywhere that just sit around and break. The floating ones that you just saw there that I broke. Sleepies, which sleepies will cease to exist if you get too close to them loudly. So you have to sneak up on them or break them from a distance. Which is just a way of showing that you can actually make SpongeBob sneak if you don't push the left stick all the way. Or in the remake, which I'm glad they did because the SpongeBob movie game did it as well, you can hold down L2 instead, or left trigger, to force SpongeBob to sneak everywhere, making it easier for you to do. Beyond that, there are explosive tikis, or thunder tikis as they're called, which will, upon contact, self-destruct, but I want to specify that they only worked exactly like that in the original. In this, if you're too close to them, it will set them off as well, so you don't actually have to touch them. And I think that's solely because they detonate quicker than they used to, so it's to make sure you can actually get away. Those two floating tikis used to move. They used to go left and right, which is a little, There's a sock out in the goo there that you used to be able to get, but now you can't. I tried on my first playthrough and was pretty surprised that they actually altered this. From this bounce pad, or this bounce of a tree, you could just narrowly, barely make that sock. You could do a double jump and do the spin attack, because using SpongeBob's standard attack in the air holds your position in the air for a brief split second, as you can see. And you could just barely make the sock, but now they've pushed it just a little bit further back, so you can't make it. You do actually have to come back with Patrick later on, which we will be doing, which was baffling to me, because I can't remember a time I actually did it legitimately. I've always just tanked the death and gone and got it 'cause it's quicker. So the fact I was like, oh shit, I actually have to do it legit now? Huh. I say that, but there are other things in this game that, because of the way it's handled, especially the momentum in this game is kind of insanely overtuned, but in a fun way. Like, it's yet to get me killed. I say that this is only my second playthrough, but it's yet to hurt me in any way that's made me not appreciate the fact that it's really overtuned. But you can fling yourself off of little things because of momentum. If you find a seesaw, ride the seesaw down and then jump as it starts to move, and it will just fling SpongeBob. It's brilliant. But this is introducing you to bungee cords. Bungees is actually the only thing I don't like in the remake. It's the only thing that is straight up a downgrade, and it's the bungee controls. I'm going to try my hardest to be as short as possible with them to get them out of the way, but you will feel very quickly they control like arse compared to the original. And don't get me wrong, the original wasn't perfect either. The original felt heavy controlling it, but this just feels bad, and I hope one of those patches is going to be addressing it. They've said that there are things across the entire game, not just glitches and mechanics that they want to address through patches. So I hope that the Bungie ends up being one of them. But it ultimately depends on how much budget not only THQ Nordic allow them, but how much Nickelodeon allows them to. Because Nickelodeon are the one that made the final decision. There are some things in this game that were absolutely Nickelodeon's call, and some of them I agree with, some of them I don't, which is just a shame. Like some of them, like the goo colour. The goo colour is a very sharp dark blue. That was decided by Nickelodeon, and it had to be that way regardless of wishes. And that I don't mind. I think it looks perfectly fine. But there are other things like SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy's designs were specifically chosen out by Nickelodeon, and Sandy I think looks the best, but Patrick, I don't know. It's almost like he's too plasticky. Like I don't know. It's something just seemed wrong with it, and I just can't put my finger on it. I'll probably adjust and get used to it, but I just can't get a feel for it. And SpongeBob is just SpongeBob. SpongeBob I don't think is too bad. I think his eyebrows could be a bit more definitive compared to the original, how definitive it was in that. But I'm not losing sleep over it. This is the first sock you can't retrieve right now. It's a bowling ball, and you need the bubble bowling skill to be able to get any of it. Over here there are a few secret shinies. Oh shit. Well, there's the hand if you fall out of bounds, so you know what that looks like. But let's proceed onwards. It's boiling hot here in the UK, so my window is open, so if you hear any vehicles pass me by, I can only apologise, but this happens every summer. It gets way too hot to justify closing the window. When I eventually get my own place, because I'm 21 now, I'm saving up. When I eventually get my own place, I'll definitely be getting one with AC, I assure you. Just so I can close the window and when I go to record. Because even like now I'm getting older. Because even I've been doing this since I was like 15 or 16. I started in 2015, but I think I'd just gone 16 when I started. I've been doing it for nearly for over 5 years. Like I'm not this is not a young man's game anymore. I'm used to this. I've gotten familiar with it. This is my 25th Let's Play I've done, for goodness sake. I can't always have this pattern work, because when I was a kid the only thing I had to worry about was college, and when I finished college all I had to worry about was work. And although like it's still the same, I still like live under a shared accommodation. I don't have my own place. I don't have any of that. I still have to kind of function together, but because I function together there's less for me to do. Like I'm not paying bills, I'm paying rent and that's it. Oh, on my phone bill, but you know what I mean. And so there are obviously going to be a point in time, who knows when, where these sort of things are going to change. And when that comes, who knows what will happen. I'll absolutely be doing YouTube. I don't think I'll ever give this up, because I love doing it so much. I love showing off the games I love to you guys, showing off why I love them, what I don't like about them, etc, etc, and just talking about video games. Talking about video games is like my passion. I always love just talking about like the video game industry and how much it means to me, because it's pulled me out of the deepest recesses of my mind, pulled me out of the craziest shit, and always been my go-to hobby and love. It's kind of my love affair is the video game industry, and it's been like that for 19 years. Shit. But anyway, we got another golden spatula here, and then afterwards we'll be heading off into the caves. Well, I say that it's called the caves, but we got to get there first, but it's a whole thing. You'll